I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you for choosing to take time to watch our memorial service this year. The fact that this service is on YouTube tells you immediately that things are very different. At this time of year, we would normally be gathering together in Watford Football Club to remember those friends and family members who have died in the past year. This year, we are not able to do that. We won't have the opportunity to meet in person, or for you to meet some of the medical and nursing staff who played a part in taking care of your loved one. However, despite the limitation of the current situation, we still gather as a virtual community to honour, respect and remember with love those we have lost in the past year and beyond. In this memorial event, we will hear some beautiful music from the London Humanist Choir. Our team lead for palliative care will share with us a reading, and our main reflection will be led by one of the humanist chaplains. Our symbolic act of remembrance this year will also be slightly different. As we hear the beautiful traditional folk song, The Parting Glass, during our time of remembrance, I invite you to remember your loved one in whichever way seems most appropriate to you. If you're at home, you may wish to raise a glass to them, or to light a candle, or simply to remember a happy memory of them in the silence of your hearts. So let us start our time of reflection with a beautiful piece of music sung for us by the London Humanist Choir.
To read a short passage from one of the greatest novels of the 20th century, Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman. This book was suppressed by the authorities in the Soviet Union for many years until it was smuggled out to the West in the 1980s. The modern English translation was only completed in 2006. It's set in 1942 around the siege of Stalingrad, and it tells the story of ordinary people in wartime on the front line of battle in Nazi concentration camps and Soviet labor camps. Death is all around, yet humanity endures. There is a shockingly poignant passage in the book that follows a young woman and a child whose hand she's holding on their final journey into the gas chambers. This is an extract from the author's reflection in the aftermath. I hope you will feel that it holds true for all of you who've suffered loss, however terrible the circumstances. When a person dies, writes Grossman, the universe inside that person has ceased to exist. This universe is astonishingly similar to the universe that exists outside people and inside other people. But it had something in it that distinguished the sound of its ocean, the smell of its flowers, the rustle of its leaves, the hues of its granite, and the sadness of its autumn field from those other universes. It was unique to that person. Each of us knows our own uniqueness. It's one of the limitations of the human condition that we can only see through our own eyes, feel through our own senses, and think our own thoughts. We can't live other people's lives. That's why most of us find it so difficult to imagine our own deaths or what might happen after we die. But one of the things that grief and loss do is they give us the capacity to appreciate someone else's uniqueness. It is terrible to lose a wife or husband, son or daughter, sister or brother, father or mother, or anyone who was really close to you. But death and loss and grief give each of us that extraordinary transcendent capacity to appreciate someone else's uniqueness. And this is where Vasily Grossman writes that only then can we experience the joy of freedom and kindness, finding in others what we have already found in ourselves. We cannot and should not expect justice in life, but if in grieving we honor the unique value of that life that was most precious to us, and by extension, every human life, then we have identified something that binds us together and makes our lives worth living.
As we take this time during this memorial service to remember those that we have lost, our loved ones, our friends, our family members. We take this time especially to remember them. But of course we are reminded of them in 100 different ways throughout the course of the day, the weeks and the month since we've lost them. Things they have said to us and conversations we shared with them come back to mind. Things that we laughed about, experiences that we shared, are always in our thoughts. Those that we have lost and those that sleep in the peace of eternity are always with us, and the love we shared with them is also always with us. It holds them in the gentle embrace of the memories that we have of them. May we find peace as they rest in peace.
Death is Nothing at All by Canon Henry Scott Holland. Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped away into the next room. I am I and you are you. Whatever we were to each other, to that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way you always used. Put no difference into your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we always enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort, without the ghost of a shadow in it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute unbroken continuity. What is death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind? Because I am out of sight. I am waiting for you for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. Nothing is past, nothing is lost. One brief moment, and all will be as it was before. How we shall laugh at the trouble of parting when we meet again.
We now come to our act of remembrance, where you're invited, in the silence of your hearts, to remember those that you have loved and lost, as we listen to this beautiful rendition of The Parting Glass.
Of all the money that I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. So fill to me the parting glass, and drink a health whate'er befall. Then gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I had, the sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it fell into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. Fill to me the parting glass, and drink a health whate'er befall. Then gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. Good night and joy be